when you are already posted in a beautiful place, you have a community where you thrive, your physical activity is being taken care of. This is how mental health is being taken care in the military.
But talking about more of a mental makeup, mindset that is being built, how those skills are being built to make a person more resilient enough. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sound Mind, where we have conversations around emotional well being, mental well being, and self improvement talks. And in this episode, we have a really special guest. She has experience in military services. She was a former Coast Guard officer, and currently she is more into mental well-being and mental health advocacy. She is passing on her knowledge, her wisdom, and her skills from military services into corporate well-being. So the very first thing I would like to hear from is, since this is a space where we talk more about mental well-being, emotional well-being, so I would like to hear it from you, that how mental health is seen, or how is it in the military services, how is it managed, and more about looking at it from a mental health and emotional well-being. So really curious to know more about mental health in defense forces or coast guard services, if you can throw light on it.
Okay. It's I'll give I ponder upon what all I have seen in the defense forces. It's throughout all those three services as well as Coast Guard.
Hmm.
So defense forces, throughout, they pride themselves for being a community, fostering a community where one feels at home, away from home, because as you know that the people are posted everywhere and anywhere in India when you're in forces, not necessarily where your hometown is. So your peers, seniors, and understanding benevolent society is being formed. It is formed, a community is formed in the forces wherever you are posted. And you know that physical activity, whether by playing sports or simply being active, is the way of life for a serving personnel. Means it's a part of parcel of life. So physically active has been associated. It's there's a particular terminology for it. You are associating new neural networks in your brain when you're being physically active. You're literally rewiring your brain to form new neural networks, and it's you're rewiring the trauma memories as well. So whatever trauma you might endure in your journey, because no job profession is fraught without errors. So how does the Fauji's relate to this? Being active and happy, immeasurable opportunities to thrive, bringing meaning to life, and how many lives are saved every day? For that matter, if I ponder upon the Coast Guard part, there are many lives saved at sea every day. It's not just protecting the coastline, it's protecting the people as well. So, indirectly or directly, by the actions of many brave souls, one finds a deep meaning to life, a purpose, I might add. Purpose,
Mm.
active lifestyle, community, and plethora of activities, more than what you can ask for. And the added benefit of sometimes being posted at travel worthy locations
Mm.
means I was posted in Port Blair, so I remember that part. How rare is that? It's wonderful. So it's Port Blair, for instance, was mesmerizing. It's beautiful, but leaving everything aside, do you know how sought after areas the military hospitals are? Means if even if you're going through an issue, a problem, you can very well go to those hospitals and seek help. You cannot ask for more specialization, or be it in better hands in the military hospitals with military doctors. I don't think anyone can ask more, and the good part, it's free. So you need not worry about the expenses. And this is the backup of the backup plan that I'm talking about. When you are already posted in a beautiful place, you have a community where you thrive, your physical activity is being taken care of. This is how mental health is being taken care in the military.
Yeah. That was such a holistic view that you had put of community which is being fostered. But as you mentioned about in the travel worthy places that one is posted in, so that was something, beautiful insight that you shared. And also looking at it from a satisfaction angle, right? I think yes, it all makes sense that having the satisfaction of doing something purposeful, doing something meaningful can, of course, obviously give a sense that, okay, why I'm doing this? Because this is going to have such an impact on someone else's life. But apart from it, when we more often hear about military services or defense services, uh, the very first thing which comes to our mind is the leadership qualities, the discipline, the toughness in the personality, not just the physical strength. Of course, you talked about physical strength. We all are aware of the intense physical training that a person has to go through, a person, military personnel has to go through. But talking about more of a mental makeup, mindset that is being built, how those skills are being built to make a person more resilient enough to handle such tough situation where stakes are so high and a very pressured environment.
Okay, the physical strength and the stamina, the physical aspects comes from the initial trainings.
Right.
Everybody can agree to that part. The kind of things said and unsaid you have to go through in the military. It's said that the more you sweat in peace,
Mhm.
the more you bleed in, the less you bleed in war. So it's a mandatory training. Every officer, the men, Faujis, everybody has to go through them. Not necessarily in INA. There are different academies. There's a Chilka Academy for sailors. So for officers, it's INA. It's like that patch of road that's unstoppable. You can't jump later and be happy and part of being the end project when you have not gone through the process of training.
Mm.
The etiquettes, the respect comes as an inevitable part of your health. So, and your mental skills. Hundreds of skills you learn just by going through the training, the toughest, necessary part of understanding the essence of being an officer, of becoming an officer, a responsibility that is endowed to you. Leadership comes later. It doesn't come in a day or two. I have different experience as a Coast Guard officer, but for instance, I was 24 when I entered Coast Guard. But for instance, a 24 to 25-year-old officer with a team of men of various age groups under him or her, sitting atop the ice cold terrains, like in army, I'm giving an example, putting the lives of these men in your hands with a sense of purpose, extreme physical agility, love for the nation, and shouldering that responsibility. It's huge. So it comes with an experience, it comes with time, but no service personnel is devoid of leadership because any which ways you will always have a team under you. You will always have that experience of understanding what motivation people need. Those skills that we were mentioning initially, they come to you naturally. One, you experience them, and you're suddenly that person who has those skills. You know how to handle things. You know you have that resilience. You have that toughness. So it comes with experience. But yes, at the end of 10 years, you can say that you have a lot of things to go on. I hope it answers the question.
Yes, yes, sure, 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 definitely. I could understand how the experience matters in building up that uh, toughness or having this quality of uh, being a leader not only comes with just one sort of training, but an continued process which you were talking about. So definitely, and since you have experienced that for a decade, uh, I know that there is a lot of wisdom and there's a lot of knowledge and there's a lot of skills that you yourself must have developed, and now you want to pass on that. How is the transition for you now? Like, what are the things that you think can help corporate professionals or anyone for that matter? What can a person do, and what are the things that helps in building all those skills that we are talking about?
So there's something called OLQ. This is one thing that the process, the SSB, that 5 days when a military person is selected,
Hmm,
they
hmm,
seek that OLQs. It's called officer like qualities. So I'm just talking about the part where they select the officers. So it's like there is a threshold level and you need to cross that. So there are some qualities which are already there in those officers, and they are just nurturing them by giving them those experiences and making like that mandatory part of physical training that one has to go through. That is the formative part, and then after that comes the experience part. So you have built something, you have broken and built something, and now you are giving that person those particular experiences and those instances where they'll
hmm.
grow, that personality will grow on them. So
Right.
that is how it is. So
Okay.
some
Yeah.
part of it is already there. So you're talking about a person who is not from a military background. They also might have those qualities. It's not sacrosanct that it's only the military people, they have those qualities. And coming to that part where you are asking if somebody wants to nurture those qualities in themselves, irrespective of whether they were in the military or not,
Hmm,
it's as easy, the process, if you see those protocols where you are remolding yourself and understanding if you have those qualities, and then rebuilding yourself into that person who has all these qualities. You also need to go through that those hit and trial of the corporate world, or maybe uh, going for the things that you're passionate about. For example, if I wanted to go not in the military or something else, and it was a hit and trial thing, I would have gone through that process, maybe realized 3 4 years down the line that this is not the field for me. Being troubled every day, but living through that experience, it's also making me something better. I'm learning to be patient, I'm learning to be resilient, where living through that profession where I do not even want to be in. I know it's a very untypical example, but everybody, those skills, if you have them at the age of 24, 25, or even for that matter 21 years, they are bound to grow, provided that you are not cocooned in a shell. You are coming out, you are experiencing you certain things, whether in the corporate world, being away from the family. And I think everybody goes through those experiences. You're not necessarily, you'll have to, it's just like I can equate the physical stamina that we go through as a fast track process. But my only point being, you can nurture those qualities provided
right.
you leave your house, explore the world, take the opportunities, go for it. Whatever passion, skills, and goals you have, try to pursue them. I think those, if you have those qualities, means a little bit when you have them. The OLQs that I was talking about, it's experiences will definitely reframe you into the human being, the skills that any military person that you find with leadership has. So
Hmm, hmm. Right.
anything and everything you do, just do something. Don't
Okay.
be laid back and sitting in one corner and cocooned in his face. So
So
that's
I get that. I got what you were talking about. And so since you have mentioned about how one can nurture, now I would like to ask you a little about the goal that you have in your mind right now of um, incorporating these skills, not just leadership or mental well-being, um, but also, like as you mentioned, crisis, managing a large group of people into corporate environment, because we have seen a lot of stress, a lot of emotional tolls. The pressure is taking on corporate professionals as well. There are a lot of incidents happening. So how do you see yourself guiding in corporate space and organization, for that matter? Yeah.
okay. So I am grouping that mental health thing, which I'm learning about, into a broad spectrum thing. If I have to encapsulate it into a category, I'll call it employee engagement. But my niche, the thing that I'm learning, the thing that I want to advocate about, is mental health. The accreditation that I've done, the MHFA, mental health first aid,
Hmm.
it's a mental health first aid India course.
Okay.
Third is the incorporation of it in the work culture. So, the mental health aspect that I am learning about and I am trying to spread the awareness about, it can only be done through these channels, through HR or leaders, when they understand how difficult or how imperative it is for them to incorporate these frameworks into there are already many companies which are already doing it. So when I understood, because there was a period in time, if I talk about my what led me towards mental health,
Hmm. Hmm.
there was a period in time in my military career when I was all alone, and I think everybody has to go through that part. I was all alone, away from Delhi. I've never been away from Delhi, from my parents and my hometown. And uh, animal lovers will be able to relate to it. But I lost my dog. He was a Labrador, and he passed away at the age of 10. And there was this longing to be at home. On top of it, my dad was going through dialysis. So there are a number of things happening in my life, and I wanted to go back home. And it's, even though there are headquarters of my Coast Guard organization, the main headquarters are in Delhi, but then you don't initially go and be posted there. So that was out of question. Those 10 years I couldn't do that, so it's out of question. But then being homesick and then adding to all these things, and then there was a time that I had met a little bit of physical injuries also. So and the environment, the new environment, the climatic conditions of Mumbai and everything, they were taking a toll on my health. So in and all, I remember being allergic to everything. So I don't know if I'm swaying away from the question. I'm just trying to put in some perspective here. So
Yes, please go
those allergies, they these were because it's called something called, and it's I remember people making fun of it because it's a very weird thing. I don't know if you have even heard of it. It's called photodermatitis. It's it's allergy from sun rays. How do you go out when you have allergy from sun? Being a military person, it's a horrific thing, right? And then being allergic to probably everything. Warfarin, I'm still allergic to warfarin. It's that ingredient where you have it in Move and all these painkillers. So it's called diclofenac also.
ahead.
So I'm still allergic to it. So I developed these autoimmune problems. Now you come to it, it looks like a silly allergy to you, right? I went deep into it. I did not realize it that instant, but when I went deep into it, these years, when I retired and I went deep into it, and I had a bout of PCOS problems also, and that was horrific, that phase. And it happened exactly at the same time when I was talking about the allergy problems. It is definitely attributable to stress, because I remember very clearly I was not going through any lifestyle factors which people are going through now to have that PCOS problem. So it was all attributable to stress. Stress induced by my own thinking of, like, I was self sabotaging myself. I was feeling homesickness. All those things, they corroborated, and the death of my very dearly loved pet. And those things added together, they contributed to the stress. The stress contributed to those autoimmune problems. So it was, it's like the elephant in the room that we're not talking about. Everyone has stress and everyone has a problem related to stress because of it. So it's like that problem which is addressable, but we're not looking into it. Why? Because we think that we have been uh, told and we have been programmed in such a way by our elders or the elder generations that you just need to engulf it. It's something which is part and parcel of your life. The kind of awareness I'm talking about, it can only be channeled through two people. It's either HRs or leaders. So I'm going through many courses. MHFA I've already mentioned. There's an HRCI Pro Wellness program. It's a very sought after program for wellness spaces. I'm already a post graduation diploma in operations management in HR. And the kind of work that I've done in those 10 years of military, it was about employee engagement. Not exactly employee engagement, but yes, to some extent it was. And it was about people management. So
Okay.
there I've
Yes.
seen people, I've led a team with people of somebody who's just been out of school, maybe 18 years old, and somebody who's 60 years old. So those kind of people and the kind of problems they had faced. I remember giving those talks of not engulfing, but then discussing their problems, where if it had led to a problem or productivity at the workplace. And there was a proper framework that I had made.
Hmm.
These are these frameworks I've designed. I'm starting to design certain modules,
Okay.
self-help picture guides that I am usually giving it on Fridays, a short sneak peek of those comic strips. I make content and I'm designing self-help picture guides, which I've already mentioned, as the shortest alternative for very busy and very busy people. Then comes the courses or modules who can people can give their time. for
Mhm.
comprehensive grasp on the concept. Lastly, curating a plan later on when it's a little many people know about it and it's a thing for corporate to incorporate in their culture. That is when I intend to curate a plan after thorough analysis of a company's culture and support the organization.
That's great and really admirable, and really kudos to your efforts. So I really wish you a luck to, building such a holistic plan module, and also like educating, spreading awareness with the help of comics. So I've seen those on LinkedIn since I connected you, and that's how we met. I am really glad I came across your post, and I would like to mention here the motive behind starting this podcast was actually spreading awareness. As you can see a lot of other videos, it was not just about um skills, or it was not just about experts talking about how one can manage mental health, but we also have people who have spoken about their lived mental health experiences as well. Moving ahead towards concluding this podcast, this episode, there I know there is a lot to know from you. It was just a broad conversation, but definitely we can boil it down to some one particular aspect around mental health. Is there anything you would like to add for them?
I would just like to add, don't take your mental health in such a way that you just go through it and with a pinch of salt, you take it and you let it pile up one day when you blast and you look at your past, and then you understand what you had made yourself go through, and your mind and your body as well. Don't let yourself come to that stage. First of all, anything and everything starts with self awareness. So first try to understand what you are going through. Even if you have a small problem,
Okay.
it is not necessary for a person to go through expensive procedures of consultations. You first have to understand what your problem is, to for whatever resources you have, with credible resources. I'm not talking about Google, yeah, I'm talking about the actual book. For example, if I'd been friends with you, if I'd seen that podcast, I would have come to you and made asked you as to if you can give me an analysis and make me understand if I'm going through something. And whatever problems that I may be piling on myself, I would first try to recognize what these problems are, because there is 101%, no person on this earth who is not going through stress and problems. The
Yes.
only thing is, how do you handle that stress? That one of the things that I did not mention about is listening. Listening to people, listening to yourself, listening to your work culture, and you will know half of the problems, half of the answers that you're seeking, you'll get there itself. There's this very strong solution and strong whatever you want to seek is in the power of listening. So this is what I want people to do, whoever would be listening to this podcast, is start with yourself and have that power of listening and have that faith in God that everything will work out. Uh, I do not think without that last part that I mentioned about power of faith, you can go anywhere further without that. You need to have that, not for sake of it, just so that you can just visit temple and forget about it. No, you'll have to have that faith in you that everything will work out. And it will. I have seen miracles happening just with that faith. I do not want to add science or logic behind it. Sometimes it's just some vibrations or some eternal being that we do not know, but it works. It
Yes.
works.
So, yeah, it was wonderful talking to you, ma'am. I really enjoyed this conversation. So, yes, thanks a lot once again for your time.
Thank you,
And
Shivani.
yeah.